Hey Jim, just wanted to say congratulations on your retirement and to say thank you for your over 30 years of dedication and service to Thomas Circle Singers and the amazing work that you've done and the legacy you've created. As far as my favorite memories of TCS, I would have to say that they involve caroling at the Willard and always making sure that I held my folder up so that I could never make eye contact with you when we sang Jolly Old St. Nicholas. So wanted to just let you know that I'll never be able to sing that carol again without thinking of you. Thank you again for letting me be part of TCS, and much love and well-deserved congratulations.
Jim, I wanted to thank you for your commitment to TCS over these last decades. You've truly built the choir into something special, weaving that line between artistry and commitment to community in kind of an effortless way. You tirelessly pursue beauty and perfection, and you have the energy of 10 men, and you've wielded that to create the best chamber choir in the DMV. I'm very proud to have sung with you. Thank you for your dedication. It will not be the same without you, and we will miss you very much.
Hi, Jim. This is Matt. I wanted to thank you for all of your leadership at TCS since I joined as a singer over 10 years ago. I'll remember so many highlights of performing, whether it was caroling at the Willard Hotel and embassies in the city, or premiering new works by living composers, or coming up with fun and creative gift baskets for our annual auction and gala. It's a testament to your leadership and dedication to TCS that you directed for 33 years, and even found new ways for us to stay active and perform during the COVID-19 pandemic. I was honored when you asked me about serving as Singer's president during this final year, and hope that the Singer's board may carry on the high standard that you set for the group, and I wish all the best to you and Tom.
Hi, Jim. I just wanted to say that singing together with TCS this year has been such a gift. I am so grateful for all of the joy it's brought me and for the opportunity to learn and grow so much as a musician under your tremendous leadership and artistry. And I wish you all the best in this new chapter. And I just wanted to thank you for everything and the wonderful opportunity to sing together again. It's truly been a gift. Thank you so much for everything.
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Julie.
Good to be here with you. And also, of course, Deborah. So we're here today to talk about and reflect on your 33 years with Thomas Circle Singers as our artistic director. And you know that I've been with the group about half that time, hard to believe, as an alto, as singers president, and as board chair. And I'm, it's a emotional moment, to be sure, but mostly what I feel is gratitude. And so I'm glad to be here to hear about your favorite moments and your time here with us. So turn it to Deborah.
Great for me to be here with you too, and I have been with you since almost the very beginning of your tenure with TCS as the first person that you auditioned, and successfully from my perspective, I'm happy to say. I've been the board chair twice. I've been the board secretary. I've done fundraising. I've been a member of the alto section. Actually, when I first started, I was a second soprano for a very short period of time. I think one concert performance, I was actually allowed to sing second soprano, and then back to the alto section with you. And the TCS group has an award that is named for me, which is a great pleasure for me to think about. Thanks, Julie. The Spirit Award that we give every year to someone who has supported the organization in a voluntary capacity. And it's sort of an extraordinary way. That award is named for me. So going back to the beginning of your time with TCS, what was it that made you interested in TCS, that drew you to the group in the first place?
Well, I'd been here in the Washington area for about 3 or 4 years. I was working full-time at an Episcopal church in Potomac. And prior to moving to Washington, I had worked in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, and also in a church setting. But I also directed the community chorus on the island my entire time there, and had so much fun doing that, doing not sacred music necessarily, doing a lot of secular music, a wide variety of things. And so when I came up here, I came down to the Washington area, I started to keep my ears open for anything that might possibly open. Of course, there are so many choruses in this area, and many long established that had conductors, and I know there were a couple in Montgomery County that opened, and I looked into those, and it just didn't seem like a match. But I had heard through my college alumni newsletter of Steve Green, who was an alumnus 2 years ahead of me, and he was directing a group called the Thomas Circle Singers. And he was leaving the group, and he had a farewell concert coming up. And I thought, well, let me go see Steve and hear this group. And they had his farewell concert at Luther Place Church, and it was a nice little chorus of maybe 25 singers who did remarkably well. And you could tell they were very, very moved with what they were doing and by what they were doing, and it was a very emotional concert. I mean, lots of tears. So they loved this conductor. And then shortly afterward, I saw an ad in the Washington Post, back when people read, that's all there was hard copy, back in 1988, this was, fall of 88. The position was advertised. So I sent off my resume via snail mail, and lo and behold, I got a phone call from somebody on the board. It could have been Jack Kelly, who was the board chair back then, and I was being called in for an interview. They then called me. I met with the board. I then got called back. 4 of us were going to come in and work with the chorus for a rehearsal, and well, then I was offered the job. I liked the mission of the group. I liked the size of the group. It just seemed really good. And the fact that it was downtown, it was urban. I mean, they were based where their mission was. And that's how I got here.
That's great. And I think John Steinbrook, who was the minister at Luther Place at that time, he had that passion for the social service ministries, and so he was an inspiration for them.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Luther Place played an important part in the history of TCS. Well, obviously, they founded it.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward.
Okay.
Over your time at TCS, from that moment to today, what has that journey been? I know it's a lot to say in one answer, but tell us what that evolution looked like.
Well, let me go by at a year at a time, if you don't mind.
Well, okay. Sure.
Well, first of all, I started, and I just spent the first year or so observing and learning to know how the group functioned and what the policies were, and just. And then I started to think about some things we could be doing that I would like to do. And change can be very difficult, but it's often necessary if you want something to grow. And I just saw that if we produced an even better musical product, we would have a larger audience, which in turn would give us more offerings to our partner organizations. So that involved having singers re-audition, which is a big change for the organization. It involved increasing the size of the group slightly. For a while, I kept the group at about 32, because there was a jump from 25 to 28. And that settled in. Another big move was performing away from Luther Place Church, because we all know Thomas Circle today, but in the 90s, people did not want to drive downtown at night and park in Thomas Circle to go to a concert. It was a scary neighborhood. I remember the first year we did the Christmas concert. I think it was 1995. We did it away from Luther Place. We did it at St. Columba's, actually. And the Washington Post weekend section picked us up as a holiday weekend pick. And they said something like, go see a substantial concert and do a good deed at the same time. And we had a packed house. And I just remember the reaction to some of those who had been in the chorus a long time to see over 300 people in attendance at the concert. And the people were sitting in the aisles. They'd bring out folding chairs.
It's such a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It is a great feeling. And they saw that we can still do good work, but we don't have to, we have to be in a better performing venue. So then we started performing at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, which we did many times. We did St. Columba's many times. I think for anniversary concerts, I always took us back to Luther Place because that was our home. That's where we were based, and that's where we rehearsed still. Eventually, in the early 2000s, we developed office space there. One of our board members, Lynette Arledge, who was board chair at the time, her big mission was we're going to get a website and we're going to get an office. And she got us our thomascirclesingers.org domain name, and she got us an office and hired our first administrator. So things were moving along really well. Unfortunately, the group was growing still, and we were outgrowing the space at Luther Place, both with the rehearsal space, the office space, and definitely the library space. Being the good parent that Luther Place was, they gave us roots and they gave us wings. And they allowed us to leave. I mean, they saw that we needed to leave. And we flew across the circle to National City Christian Church, who invited us to come there. We had an immense office. We had a big rehearsal space, and it just met our needs then as the group grew. Another change that occurred was how the mindset of the board changed as the group changed. And the composition of the board became people more keen and in tune with the artistic needs of an arts organization and what things are needed to run an arts organization. And we had then some really strong development campaigns, and we're starting to bring in money. And the budget was growing, which meant we could do even more. And again, when the musical product continues to increase, then more people come to the concert, and the second half of our dual mission prospers. And then in the last 5 or 6 years, we have moved here to Church of the Epiphany, which is my favorite rehearsal space of the 3 we've been in. Where we're here right now, it's stunning. I think on Tuesday nights, I have this beautiful view of the altar up there, but then the singers have this beautiful view of this back window, and it's such a great space. And we have an office upstairs, and we have recently hired Aaron Fang to be our first executive director. So the group is just in a really good place right now, and it's come such a long way.
It has. I think part of that also is our ability and your ability to attract supporters who have been major donors to us over the years and have stayed with us for a long time. We had some who were major donors in the early days, like Chuck Solem, who are since gone, but others have stepped up to take that place, and that's made a big difference for us.
We do, you're right, Deb, we have some who have stayed with us for many years. And what I've noticed in the past couple of years is whenever I look at the list of donors in the program, there are names I don't recognize, which is a really good thing, that donor base is expanding and growing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will speak as a donor also. The thing that brings me back to rehearsal and back to listening to the music is that just those moments of awe and beauty. And I see it on your face. I think that's one of the things that the audience doesn't get that we do as singers, is that appreciation, sometimes humor, but a lot of times it's just reflecting back that, like, thank you for that gift. So I appreciate that a lot. And I would love if you would share out loud, what are some of your favorite moments that gave you that kind of, I have no words, because that was the moment, that was it.
I'm going to start with some non-music things. I have met some amazing people. And not just singers, friends, donors, board members, audience members, and it's been such an amazing ride. I've enjoyed having composers attend concerts. I think it's a great gift to audience members to put a face with a piece of music. That's a real person who wrote this. We've had Gwyneth Walker here, who did a commission work for us, A Heart in Hiding. And she came and did an hour-long Q&A before a concert. We've had Bob Convery speak at concerts. We've had Blake Henson speak. We've had Mike Philly speak. We've had Josh Fishbein speak.
Ola performed?
Ola Yalo performed with us. We had him here for a whole weekend. Rick Sowash was here and spoke. And it's such a treat. And also then I don't have to talk about the music because you can get it directly from them. Some highlights. I wanted to talk about some highlights. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
One of my absolute favorites was in 2014 when we did the Washington, D.C. premiere of James Whitbourne's Annalise. And the board worked so hard to publicize that, to get word out, and we sang to a packed church. And we had a speaker from the Anne Frank Foundation speak before the concert, put things in context. We had a multimedia presentation as we were singing. And I still remember when we stopped and ended, there had to have been 30 seconds of silence.
It's a powerful piece.
It is. People did not know what to do. Did not know what to do. I've loved the collaborations we've done with children's choirs, the Levine School of Music. They were phenomenal. They did super stuff. And the Bel Canto Chorus from the Children's Chorus of Washington. Such a delight. They were amazing musicians as well. Such a joy to work with them. The most recent one, I mean, it's before we had to shut down in May of 2019, right here. We did a concert with 3 premieres on it. We did the DC premiere of Rick Sowash's Harvest of a Quiet Eye. We did the world premiere of Josh Fishbein's The Unexpected. And we did the world premiere of Mike Philly's City of Shadows. At any concert, to have one premiere is big. To have 3 premieres was huge. And the composers were all here to speak about their work. I'm going to go back 27 years now to 1995, and this is when we started to have a growth spurt in the group. We did a concert at St. Paul's. This was our first concert at St. Paul's Lutheran. It was a benefit for Samaritan Ministry, which was an awesome partner organization, Carter Eccles. Wow.
Wow, that was amazing.
We did a concert to celebrate the 150th birthday of Gabriel Fauré. We did his Requiem and other choral works, and it was the first time we hired a full orchestra to accompany us. And it was like from here to here level-wise of the performance we did. It was a stunning concert. And I remember Samaritan Ministry did a big reception. They had a tent out on the lawn.
Outside.
They had an amazing reception for us. That was a great highlight.
And we're doing that in our concert that's coming.
We're doing the
shortly.
Duraflay Requiem.
Oh, Duraflay.
Yes,
And not the whole thing.
Those two guys,
I know.
French
Yeah.
ones.
French.
Those
yes.
French guys, yeah.
Those French guys. Some of my favorite beneficiary partners going back over the years, I was the N Street Village, and from the beginning, I mean, we did so much with N Street Village. Samaritan Ministries, I just alluded to. One of my favorite concerts at National City, we benefited Life Pieces to Masterpieces. And those young boys holding their artwork around the sanctuary was just, it was just so moving. Free Minds Book Club, which we worked with recently, I would say Art Enables, and being there on Saturday night to see the work that those artists do. Thrive DC, which was not too long ago. And one going back a ways, Men Can Stop Rape,
Yes.
which was a fascinating
That was,
partner organization that we don't know where they're located,
but powerful message.
but powerful message and powerful work. Those are some of my favorite memories, without going year by year. Yeah. Every concert, so every concert, Wendy Shank, one of our altos, comes up to me and says, "I think this was our best concert yet." Well, good. You can't say, well, 3 concerts ago was better. Yeah.
It's better. No. You're talking about the musicians, Jim, makes me think that's one of the other things that has changed over the years that you've been with TCS is you said to the board, which I was on at the time, we need to pay the real rate for musicians. We need to pay them what musicians get paid, the guild rates, not get somebody in who's willing to do it for 50 cents. And that transformed the choir. Just
But I
having
think that's
professionals.
what I alluded earlier, where the board's mindset changed.
Yes.
And they realized what it takes to run an arts organization,
Yeah, and to build a budget.
and to build a budget. And to
To
build a budget.
budget.
Yep.
But for us, both of us, I think, it's hard to imagine singing in TCS with a different director. And all of us, I think, as singers, are now looking at the challenge of singing with a new director after singing for many years with one. And I'm just wondering if you have any words of wisdom for singers as they transition to a new director about how to make the most of that, how to really get the most out of it as an opportunity.
Well, I think you have one advantage because you have a really good director coming in. So that's a really good thing. I would hope that TCS will continue to do the things I taught them, and sort of the things I've instilled in them that become second nature, so that the next director can just build on that and take TCS to an even higher level.
Never sing louder than beautiful is one that I will carry with me.
Good. That's
Basics.
if you don't have a high B flat, don't substitute the highest note you do have.
Yes.
That's right.
That's a real favorite.
Those are just common sense things, though. But
Sometimes we need
You say
reminding.
they're common sense. They're not common sense for everyone, apparently.
I guess not. I think you have to realize that things will be different, and that's what change is all about. And there are 2 altos now in the group who sang with Steve Green, and they had to get used to me. And TCS, when I started, was very welcoming, and they did everything I asked them to do. And I would expect TCS will do the same for Miles. They will be very welcoming and do whatever you ask them to do, because that's who TCS is.
It's going to be quite a change.
Fresh page.
Fresh page, yep.
Get the erasers out.
Yeah,
I would think, I shouldn't second guess him. I think he's going to be introducing a lot of new music, as he should. It's his group now.
yeah.
And it's he needs to start introducing his favorites that will become new TCS favorites.
Well, we can agree with that just on the basis of what he brought with him when we met with him and rehearsed with him
Good.
at the audition. It was different. It was not like music that we've sung before, so it was interesting to think about that. This is it.
Yeah, this is the end of our program.
Really the end of our questions. Actually, it's not the end of our questions, but it's the end of the ones we're going to ask today. So thank you.
I would just say that I was so blessed to be with this organization for 33 years, and I had such a great time. But it's time now. It's time. And it's time for someone else to have a turn. And just have a ball with the group.
But you know, I have another musician friend who's a director who says, what you want to do, your goal should be to make really great music and have a great time doing it. And that's what we've done with you. So thank you for the years that you've given us.
Yeah, there are some Tuesday nights that it takes me forever to fall asleep because I am overwhelmed. You know, I talk to you so many times about life out there, and we are here to create beauty. And you do such a phenomenal job at it. And, you know, just even the concert is ending with the utmost beauty, humming that B major chord. It's a quiet home, and that's the send off.
I started with TCS in 2004, and somehow that's 18 years ago. I don't actually remember much about that initial audition, but I do remember you saying, I think this will be a challenge for you. And it has been a challenge, a good challenge. I've learned a lot and gotten to know so much wonderful music. It's a great experience performing in concerts, and it's always wonderful when everything comes together and we have those moments of just making beautiful music together. But the main thing I want you to know about is rehearsals. Obviously, we work hard in rehearsals, and I've always been impressed by how well prepared you are for rehearsal. You clearly have a vision for the music you want to bring out. When we begin to learn a new piece, we're struggling to figure out how our parts fit into the whole and how the piece will sound, but you already have that sound in mind, and then you work to coax it out of us. It's amazing to me that we'll be working on a section of a piece with 4 or 6 or 8 voice parts, but you'll pick up on a single note that is out of place and work with us to get to our best sound. Your rehearsals are so well organized, even though we often manage to upset the plan by not being as well prepared as we should be. And you've been incredibly patient, despite having to repeat some directions over and over again. But you know, even after these many years, I've noticed in preparing for these final concerts, you're still trying to find new approaches to guide us to the beauty in the music. The thing I really want you to know is that so many times over the years, Tuesday evening would roll around and I'd be thinking, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to go to rehearsal. I just want to go home. Or these days, I just want to stay home. But I would come to rehearsal, 2 or 2.5 hours would fly by, and I'd come out of rehearsal singing and feeling better about the world. That's happened so many times, and I think it says a lot about the rehearsal atmosphere you create. So thank you, Jim, for letting me take on this challenge 18 years ago, for all the music you've brought to all of us, and for the special organization you've worked so hard to build. It's been my honor to play a small part in this TCS journey.
Hi, Jim. It's Rick Sowash. Congratulations on a beautiful legacy of great music making and raising money for good nonprofit causes. And thanks for doing my philosophical anecdotes, little pieces about Diogenes, which you did with such wit and verve. And thanks for an impassioned performance of my cantata, The Harvest of a Quiet Eye. Good luck. Happy times. Enjoy your retirement.
Jim Kreger. In the time I have known Jim Kreger, I have gone from single to engaged to married with 2 kids. I've also gone from a timid choral singer who was surprised and thrilled that he let me into Thomas Circle Singers to a much more confident musician that I am today, thanks in large part to the leadership and inspiration that Jim has provided. During my first few rehearsals with the group, I struggled to keep up with his fast pace, his relentless expectation that we, the singers, caught every direction, penciled in each note he gave us, marked each breath in our music, and henceforth performed it as noted. I was intimidated. And then I grew. I rose to the bar he set. Jim has inspired and challenged me to become a better singer, a better musician. Musically, he's pushed us all to be the best versions of ourselves. He has believed in us over all the years he's been with Thomas Circle Singers, and he's made us believe in ourselves. Under his leadership, TCS is better than the sum of its parts. We have all also watched Jim handle upsets and setbacks, from a fainting audience member that caused Jim to pause our performance, to keeping us all in suspense as he left the podium mid-concert to adjust his contact lens. Jim has made us laugh, and he's made us cry. I have developed such a respect and admiration for Jim that I work harder on the music just to see the joy on his face, that tiny smirk when we all sing the perfect vowel he's looking for. No one will ever fill Jim's shoes, but I hope our next director inspires and challenges us like Jim Kreger.
Hi everyone, and hello to you, Jim. I'm Ellen Fast. I was the pianist and a singer for TCS from 1999 to 2002. Playing with TCS was basically my first professional piano gig, and I was so proud and honored to get my feet wet with such a wonderful choir and director. I'm now in Pittsburgh, where I really immersed myself in the choral music scene, and I've played for and sung with probably about 10 ensembles in this area. One of my favorite things about working with Jim is how creative and fun his programming was. He picked so much interesting music for piano, and some of the pieces that stand out to me are pieces by Gwyneth Walker and Robert Convery's Songs for Children, which I could never play without crying. Randall Thompson's Americana with that gruesome execution movement and then straight into lovely lines. And Irving Fine's Choral New Yorker, which is probably still the hardest piano piece I've ever played for choir. The weirdest would be Philip Orr's J. Peterman Company Owner's Manual with prepared piano and bass clarinet. That was so fun to play. Jim was a great conductor to play for, and I'm so grateful that I was a small part of the group's history. And incidentally, I cannot hear Boise, Idaho without going through some vocal warm-ups. So Jim, thank you for so much wonderful music, and congratulations on your retirement. Mwah.
My name is Rashad. I've been a baritone with TCS since the fall of 2019, so my time getting to know Jim has been somewhat limited. A good part of that time was during the early pandemic lockdown and during our virtual season. But I want Jim to know that whether it was in person or on Zoom, TCS's weekly rehearsals and Tuesday choral salons, as we called them, have generally been the highlight of my week. I admire Jim not only for his precision as a conductor and his all-encompassing musicality, but also for his unique sense of humor, his warmth, and the way his example makes us want to get to know each other, to share our talents with each other, and to sing with each other. For all of that, thank you, Jim. I know I will miss singing with you.
I joined TCS in 2018. I remember my audition clearly. It was terrifying. I was really anxious for it, but it was Jim's musical excellence, professionalism, guidance, and kindness that really got me through it. The past 4 years of my life since I've joined TCS have been really full of grief. They've been full of loss and trauma, but they have also been times of joy and happiness and laughter and personal achievement. And I think singing with TCS has been the source of the majority of that positivity. Jim, you've really created TCS into the community that it is today for all of us. And I feel like I've gotten to know your personality better after having joined the board. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to see your creative process and programming more closely. I want to tell you that I think you've been so much more than a choir director to all of us. You've been an emotional guide. You've been a role model. And you have been the leader that all of us have needed. your instruction and your artistry have given us purpose. Your love for the beauty of music has inspired me to explore different genres of music that I may not have otherwise learned about. And honestly, your jokes during rehearsal have been the sources of some of the most genuine laughter I've had during the course of my weeks. So thank you. I know that I can't speak for the massive community that you have positively impacted, but I can speak for myself. And I want you to know that you have touched my life for the better. So I am grateful for that. We will miss you very dearly. And I hope you enjoy your retirement. And I hope you find happiness in music wherever you go.
Hey, Jim. Back in 2004, when I joined TCS for the first time, I don't think I quite could grasp how much it would actually change my life. I found music, which I was desperately needing in my life again, and community. And from that community, I found Juliene. So we just wanted to say thanks. Thanks for being part of our lives, for bringing music into our lives, and for carrying the group for as many years as you have. It's been, I think, a privilege and a great joy to be part of that.
And now he made me cry, so I don't have a lot to say, but TCS brought us our family. And there are 2 little humans upstairs that are here because of TCS, because of you. So thank you and good luck on everything that comes for you.
Godspeed, Jim. Take care.